What if survival once depended not on vast fields of grain, but on a single drop of golden sweetness pulled from the heart of a hive? What if the most dangerous pursuit of all was not hunting beasts or battling storms, but daring to steal honey from creatures armed with venomous wings? And what does that tell us about the roots of agriculture we depend on today? The air is heavy with heat, the sun bleeding over the horizon, painting the sky in molten shades of copper. A lone figure moves through the tall grass, not with the spear of a hunter, but with the patience of a gatherer. His eyes scan upward toward the gnarled trunk of an ancient fig tree. High among its twisting branches, hidden in the shadows of green, a dark mass hums with life. The hive, a pulsating fortress of honeybees. The silence of the savanna shivers. The gatherer steadies his breathing, clutching a bundle of smoldering leaves tied together with sinew. Smoke curls upward, thin at first, then thick and purposeful, drifting toward the hive. The bees erupt in a chaotic cloud, a storm of wings that fill the air with a warning buzz. Each beat of their wings is a threat, yet the gatherer does not retreat. He holds his ground. His eyes flicker with focus, the same intensity that once separated survival from extinction. Climbing now, he presses bare hands and hardened feet into the bark, inch by inch. Muscles strain, fingers blister, but he does not falter. The smoke thickens, and the hive trembles with confusion. The swarm breaks, scattering like sparks against the wind. Still, the danger is near. One wrong move, one faltering grip, and the sky itself becomes teeth. At last he reaches it, the hive dripping with amber light, as if the sun itself had been trapped inside. He thrusts his hand into the trembling comb, tearing free chunks of wax and honey sticky and radiant. Each glob is more than sweetness. It is sustenance, a flood of energy, a spark that fuels the brain, pushing the line between beast and human further than ever before. On the ground below, others wait. Children's eyes widen as the gatherer descends, his hands glowing with gold. They do not see bees. They see survival. They see triumph. The hive is not just food. It is the beating heart of their world, a currency of energy exchanged between nature and survival. The scene shifts. The golden comb in ancient hands dissolves, melting into rows of endless fields under modern skies. Bees still hover here, but their role has shifted. No longer protectors of hives in lonely trees, they are servants to vast machinery. Pollinators of monocultures, their hum a soundtrack to modern agriculture. Here the sweetness of survival is scaled into billions of bottles stacked in supermarket aisles, detached from the risk of venom and sting. Yet the memory lingers: honey was never just food. It was risk. It was courage. It was the primal link between danger and reward. A link modern agriculture has buried beneath abundance, but never erased. The camera lingers on the hands of the ancient gatherer, still sticky with honey, and then fades into the deep lines carved into his weathered face. That expression is not joy, it is relief. For every drop of honey gathered means one more day of energy, one more chance to endure in a world that never forgave hesitation. The honey was not just sugar. It was survival fuel, fast-burning fire that let muscles run farther, brains think sharper, eyes stay wider through the night. It was the difference between collapsing in the dust or rising to hunt again at dawn. As he and his kin devour the waxy comb, their lips shining with golden residue, the hum of bees still circles in the distance, a reminder of the price. The hive they robbed will heal, but only because they took just enough, not everything. Instinct whispers balance to strip it bare, is to kill the source. In this fragile equation of survival, even the earliest humans understood what modern systems often forget. Take too much, and the well runs dry. Shift to the present. The endless lines of crops bend under the weight of human control. Tractors thunder through the fields, their wheels chewing the soil that once pulsed with insects, worms, and life. Instead of smoke curling into the air to calm bees, chemical sprays descend in waves, silencing not just swarms, but entire ecosystems. The hum is fading, not from fear of a single hand reaching into the hive, but from collapse itself. Return again to the past. The gatherer's arms glisten with sweat as he carries honey back through the grasslands. Each step is shadowed by danger predators stalking rival groups, watching the land itself, testing every heartbeat. But in his arms is not only food, it is strategy. Honey becomes trade. Honey becomes gift. Honey becomes the energy that pushes a small band of primates one step closer to what we now call human. A sequence begins to unfold close up on a droplet of honey falling onto stone, sparkling in the sun. It stretches, then snaps, landing with a shimmer. Cut to golden grains of modern wheat, spilling from a silo. The same color, the same promise of survival, but scaled to feed billions. Agriculture in its vast machine is nothing more than an echo of that first stolen sweetness, a grand construction built upon the courage of one ancestor climbing a tree. But where the gatherer knew balance, modern fields bend under pressure. One hive could nourish a family. One farm now must feed nations. The more we expand, the more fragile the hum of bees becomes, and the questions rise like heat on the savannah. What happens when the hum disappears? What happens when the link between survival and nature is severed, not by caution, but by greed? The screen holds on the image of the hive, glowing softly in the branches, and fades back to the endless rows of corn and soy. The hum of bees merges with the drone of engines, two survival songs playing across millions of years. Both remind us of one truth. Every drop of sweetness has a cost, and survival is always paid in risk. The savannah breathes in silence after the swarm disperses, the hive trembling but alive. The gatherer's kin sit in a circle, sharing the comb in reverence. Children press sticky fingers to their lips, wide-eyed, as the golden liquid drips down their chins. The taste is more than pleasure. It is memory ritual, a binding force that teaches the young that survival is not only strength, but also wisdom and daring. Honey was the first taste of civilization, the wild transformed into nourishment by human hands. Now the scene dissolves, and the horizon fills with neat, endless grids. Wheat, rice, maize, soy. Vast oceans of crops sway in unison, cultivated by machines that dwarf the human body. The sweetness of survival has been multiplied 1,000-fold, yet the cost has grown invisible. The hum of bees is still there, but faint fading, trapped beneath the weight of pesticides and steel. The connection to risk, the trembling hand that reached into the hive, has been erased. In its place is certainty, an illusion of abundance. Return again to the past. Night descends, and the gatherer's group crouches by the fire. They smear honey on roots and berries, combining flavors, experimenting without words. Their eyes gleam in the firelight. Their bodies surge with energy, their minds push further toward imagination. Honey does not just feed the flesh, it sparks the mind. From sugar comes fire. From fire comes story. From story comes the first step toward culture. The golden comb is the quiet engine of human destiny. The fire crackles and fades, and in its place appear glowing fluorescent lights above a modern supermarket. Shelves gleam with glass jars, each filled with liquid amber labeled with neat printed words, organic raw, clover, wildflower. Shoppers reach out casually, unthreatened, their fingers brushing labels instead of braving stingers. The danger is gone, the sweetness packaged, the struggle invisible. Yet, beneath the glass, the question lingers: how much of this honey is truly wild? How much is the echo of bees forced into fragile colonies, collapsing under the weight of industrial hunger? The narrative pivots again to the savanna. Rain lashes the trees, thunder shakes the ground, and the hive drips under the storm's assault. The gatherer shields the honey in his arms, knowing its warmth may mean survival through the cold night ahead. In his movements there is no certainty, only raw endurance. His every step is a gamble, yet it is precisely this gamble that fuels progress. To risk is to evolve. Cut sharply back to the modern day. Fields flood under torrential rains, harvests fail in sudden droughts. Bees vanish by the millions. For all our machinery, all our chemicals, all our systems, survival is once again revealed as fragile. Agriculture may be vast, but it is as vulnerable as a hive shaken by a careless hand. The ancient gatherer knew this truth instinctively. We have forgotten. The screen lingers on a final image, a drop of honey on the gatherer's lips, mirrored by a spoonful lifted in a modern kitchen. Two moments separated by millions of years, bound by the same sweetness and the same warning.